That's weird. It says all of my tabs, but not the zoom. I'll just try entire screen and then swipe over. Is there a way to check if that worked?
I'll go to the. I'll go to
Okay.
it on my phone.
Hello.
Well, hello. If anyone's watching, we're going to just do a little troubleshooting before we jump in.
Troubleshooting before we jump. We're live.
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay. Is that my audio I heard on your end then? It's not an echo. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Hi, I'm Genesis. This is Ma, my partner. We're both various art makers, and these are my friends Shannon and Feagin. Would you like to introduce yourselves a bit and mention like what kind of art you make? Like how long have you been making art?
You go. You go. You go.
Okay. I guess I'm basically like a writer. I write poetry and nonfiction. That's mainly what I do. I like to do like all kinds of art and like appreciate different kinds of art, but I'm not like the best at other kinds of art, even though I like doing it.
I get that.
So yeah.
We like collage too.
Yeah.
Ooh, collage is fun.
Yeah. I'm Shannon. I'm a poet and I'm currently working on some nonfiction pieces. You didn't even know about this. It's
I
a collection
didn't.
of essays.
That's exciting. And then you just published a book of poetry, right?
2 books.
2 books. I didn't know about the second book. That's exciting.
Yeah, one in Bottle Cap Press and one in Blood and Honey.
I love that. Yeah, maybe we can put a link in the comments afterwards.
Okay.
And then so I make art of all types. I don't know. For a long time I sometimes I'm like I'm an artist and sometimes I'm like I don't like that label. So I just call myself like a maker of stuff generally. But I kind of dabble in everything. And then Ma, you're mostly a writer, but you dabble a little in music and digital library organizing.
Yeah. Yeah, primarily a writer these days, for sure. Um, I haven't been officially published anywhere. That's still something I'm working on. But I do have a complete manuscript that I need to do a couple new drafts of and hopefully get that published someday.
And they let me make their ebook into a zine.
Yeah, I have a zine out. It's kind of long for a zine, and yeah, so
Well, let's jump in then. So what influenced you to choose a creative path in life? Like, what drives you to keep creating?
Man.
I can go. I guess like the thing that drives me to keep creating is I feel like I have to make things that are like really painful and like ugly. Like I have to do something with them to make them beautiful or I'll go crazy.
I get that.
So that's basically what drives me. I just feel like I guess that I need to do that because of that. And then also I think about like um how that like I guess like my primary philosophy of like why it's art is so cool is because that's a thing. And then also you connect with other people who are going through shit too and they can like relate to that. So it's like this like really intimate way of communicating with like strangers.
Right. Yeah. Through being vulnerable with each other, we find like a lot of solidarity and support. And that's like a big motivation for my art practice too. Is like, how can I make sense of what I've experienced and present it in a way that other people like might be able to relate or connect with?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
You want to add anything?
oh,
Where do you find like your creative drive? Like, or like what first started you down the path of creativity? Like, you remember like any seeds, any nuggets?
I mean, I've always loved stories. I was reading at a very young age, and I've always, I don't know, fiction has just always called to me, especially specifically horror fiction.
Hmm.
And it's even when I was a little kid, I couldn't get enough of the monsters stories and ghost stories and stuff like that. And so it wasn't too much longer after that I realized I wanted to create that kind of thing as well.
Mhm.
So I think that fiction is really important. I think it helps people learn through imagination, and so that's just kind of how I approach it, I guess.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that one, Shannon?
I always wanted to be a writer.
Hmm.
I always thought I had stories to tell. I don't think I always had stories to tell now,
Hmm.
but I think I have a few, maybe.
I feel like anytime I finish a project, I'm like, well, I'm done making forever. Like that's the end. And then like a week later, I'm like, more inspiration.
Yeah, it seems like there's always another story to pull from.
Yeah, life keeps happening.
I feel like everyone has a story to tell. It's just maybe everyone doesn't know how to tell it the best way.
Yeah, I think it takes some practice. I've heard this phrase, I don't know exactly how it goes, but something like you have to be really bad at art before you can get good at art.
I feel like that applies to a lot of things. Yeah, like sometimes just like practicing, getting the experience is how you get better at things. Yeah. So on that topic, have there been any like stuck points or sore spots within your practice? Like I know for me, I really struggle with like time management. Like there's just so many things I want to make, and some projects get stuck on the back burner just for years and years and years.
Yeah, I found myself lately in a land of inspiration. I have been writing like crazy to the point where I haven't been sleeping enough
Oh no.
the past few days. It's been an exciting time. I feel like the opposite of stuck right now, which is crazy because it's not usually where I'm at.
Right. Yeah, that flow state is so nice. It's like the
Yeah.
ideal. How about you, Mom?
The only thing that's ever gotten me out of a stuck point was just kind of pushing through it and just keeping a set schedule for myself. Usually early in the morning is when I feel most creative personally. And so I would just set that time aside for myself. And if I couldn't write, I would try to journal. And if I couldn't journal, I would read about writing,
I like that approach.
So, not 100% foolproof plan, but when I've gotten it to work, it's worked well for me.
Yeah, that kind of flow state. Like sometimes once you get out of the flow state, it's like really hard to get back into the momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I get stuck sometimes, and I think just time is what gets me out of it.
Yeah, sometimes there's a lot of like beauty and dignity to just like sitting with that stuckness and being like, why am I creatively blocked? Like, what's going on right now? And sometimes like life's just too stressful for creativity. Feagin, did you want to elaborate on any stuck points, or do you want to move to the next topic?
I don't know. I'm not very like consistent with it. I just go like in and out of doing stuff, and I guess like the time when I did the most stuff was like when I was in school for like creative writing, and that was like that get like gives you that structure. But and then I've also had like it's been helpful to have structure with like other people to be like, okay, we're both gonna like write this thing.
Yeah, body doubling.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been
But
trying to kickstart some sort of like group effort of let's focus for like even like 10 minutes a day to start with or something, but We'll start
Mm.
that soon. We always say tomorrow, but it's gonna happen.
Today.
How do you like envision your role within the art world? Like what does the art world mean to you? Like the galleries, the museums, the universities, like how does that like connect or disconnect from your art practice?
I have strong opinions.
Tell me them.
It's all bullshit.
That's basically what the book I'm reading's about.
All bullshit, and it's based on patriarchal male, like white Eurocentric ideas of what's good and what's not. And I don't think any of us quite fit into that mold perfectly.
Indeed.
You know, the gays, the queers.
Yeah. I feel like anyone who's at the fringes of society, they can get like picked up as a token by museum spaces, but the bulk of museums are like for white cis straight men. And it's like it's just kind of disheartening because it's like I want to be part of the canon someday. Like I want to make so much work it's recognized. Like that's kind of the end goal. But sometimes it's nice just also to like make for myself, make for the people around me, and not think so much about like is the canon going to accept me? Because what the canon is like kind of inherently racist, inherently sexist. Um, and yeah, in the book I'm reading, it's I'm Not an Artist by Giovanni Aloy. It's been really eye-opening. And one of the things he talks about is what we see in museums is caused by like there's like 5 people who own all the museums and get to dictate like what's in the museums. And they're the people who've like been generationally collecting art. So it's like they come from a long legacy of people like hoarding these resources so that they can use it and leverage it for their own personal gain. So that's kind of just my 2 cents. Anyone else wanna chime in?
Y'all said it all.
I mean, literature is like that too, with like the classic literature that's like taught in schools and whatnot. And we actually like discussed this in I was in like grad school for getting like a master's in English education, and we talked a lot about like I remember in like several of my classes about just like the classic traditional literature is like patriarchal, including like To Kill a Mockingbird, because it's like this white savior thing instead of like, you know, having Black people like speak from their own experience. It's like, oh, we're going to talk about how, you know, this white guy saved Black people and stuff. But
Yeah, there's a lot of power in like being able to tell your own story and not have someone else tell it for you and like dictate how your story is going to play out. So it's nice to see like over time like things are getting a little more inclusive, but like within a lot of the like officially sanctioned art spaces, not much has changed still.
It's very tokenized. like people who don't fit that specific image of what an artist is.
Right.
It's like their identity is put before their art, so that way people are like, ooh, diversity.
Yeah.
Ooh, one of those other racist, homophobic, queerphobic, transphobic museums. We're not like all the other ones. It's like a pick-me museum.
Right. And it's so performative at the end of the day. Like, are they actually helping those artists in their actual lives, or are they just showing this work as a token of we're not like those other museums that only have white male artists?
Yeah. I also, just in terms of my art and who I want it to be seen by, I have this idea of like just some random person stumbling onto my writing, and I get really excited about that. Like I don't think I ever want to be part of the canon.
Like a mystery. Like someone will find your art in 100 years and be like, who was this?
Yeah, like find my book somewhere and it's just like, oh, I wonder what this is.
I love that. who was the we found this book of poems. Moth like was cleaning like a house with a friend, and she was like a lesbian in the 70s, and she had this book of poetry from that era that was like a lesbian poet, and it was just like so heartwarming and beautiful. I'd never heard of the person. I can find very little about her online. I wish I could remember the name of the book. Do you?
Not at the top of my head.
See? But it's like one of those things, it's like it's not in the canon, but this piece of art existed and it continues to exist and is going to continue touching people's lives for like however long our world doesn't burn to a crisp.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Have there been any times where like you've shifted your approach to making art, or you've learned about a new piece of art and like it changed your outlook on life or your approach to how you go about your life?
Yes.
Do you have any specific examples for us?
When I was 18, my friend and I drove up to San Francisco together, and I went to the Beat Museum thinking it was like a drum museum of like instruments, and it was not. And when I got there, I learned all about the history of the beat poets and how they kind of kickstarted the sexual revolution and the queer revolution to an extent, even though they're the white men that the canon is all about all the time. But it made me realize that art doesn't, and this is like an obvious thing that a lot of people probably realized way earlier in their lives than I did, but it made me realize that art doesn't have to be like perfect isn't the word for it,
Like
but I'm
almost like
looking.
sterile or like
Yeah, sterile. That's a better word.
like just museum worthy, like something that's like picture perfect. Sometimes it can be like a
Yeah.
little messier.
Yeah, and I think that's what I write about is the liminal space, the mess, like the mess. Yeah.
I think I had like a similar experience with like beat poetry too. I just like didn't see it at like a museum where I thought it was about drums. But like I remember like reading it like in a book. Like there's this book I still have it. It's called The Outlaw Bible of American Poetry. And like all the stuff in that book, like I was like, whoa, poetry's so cool. It's not just like rhyming couplets. It's like about like real stuff. And it was really eye-opening.
You got one more. Was it Hellraiser? They saw Hellraiser when they were like 3 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't know. Ask me again.
Any like changes to your art practice or other pieces of art you've seen? Like any ways art has like shifted the way you view art or the way you view the world or your approach to making art? Kind of a broad question.
Yeah. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is back in my early 20s when I was playing with music. And there's like this element of crafting of the personality when it comes to wanting to be a rock star kind of on stage. You have to craft this personality, and I realized how flexible the human personality really is. And I think that's what led me down the road to exploring my queer identity and just exploring my identity in general. Was this realization that like I'm not just a creator of art, I'm a creator of myself.
Yeah. I
So,
definitely relate to that. I feel like drag like opened Pandora's box where it was like, what is an identity? What is a self? And like crafting this drag persona or like a music persona. Oh no, did it end? What happened?